What's up, y'all? Chris, predictions for the big one, UFC 168, going down this Saturday. Two rematches on the card. One highly anticipated, one not so much. Well, depends, but not for the same reason as the main event. All right, as far as the undercard goes, I'll say this. UFC usually has three big cards a year, three big events. Super Bowl weekend, 4th of July weekend, last event of the year, which is this one, obviously. And it is a pretty good card on paper, particularly the top three bouts. But considering all the events they've had, the injuries and everything else, still a pretty solid card. As far as the undercard, I'd say there's probably three fights on this card I think that have the chance to win knockout of the night. One I would say would be between Sahir Bahadurzada and John Howard. My favorite Bahadurzada in that fight, but wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be a knockout of the night. I favor Sahir though. Uriah Hall, Chris Lieben. Uriah Hall is gun shy, but not gun shy. He's afraid to get hit. I don't think. You just can't pull the trigger at all times for gosh knows what reason when you see what kind of arsenal he has. Chris Lieben is done. I'm sorry. I just saw this thing on him yesterday on UFC Insider. Training at Alliance, life rejuvenated. He's done. Too many wars, too much drug and alcohol abuse outside the cage, taking its toll. He's like one of the Walking Dead, Uriah Hall, unless you just completely just self-destructs in there mentally, there is no reason he shouldn't be able to light up the crippler by like a freaking Christmas tree and get the knockout. So give me Uriah Hall in devastating fashion. I know Chris Liben's got a hell of a chin, but if Uriah can hit him with one of those devastating kicks, he should be able to take him out. And considering the speed difference at this point between these two, there's no reason why Uriah Hall should lose this fight. All right, as far as the main card, Dustin Poirier, Diego Brandao, contender for fight of the night. I favor Poirier by decision, especially if Brandao can't get him out of there early because Brandao tires down as the fight wears on. Jim Miller, Fabricio Camoes, give me Jim Miller by decision. Josh Barnett, Travis Brown. It's funny, it's like it seems like the majority, if not most people, are all going with Josh Barnett in this fight. I don't know if it's because, he's returned to the UFC, got an easy win over Frank Mir, pretty quick win over Frank Mir. Maybe they want to see him fight Cain Velasquez for the title. Maybe this thing is a better fight than Travis Brown. Obviously, he's more accomplished, more experienced. But oddly enough, for some reason, I keep thinking about this fight and I keep leaning towards Travis Brown. Now, I know if Josh Barnett gets this fight to the ground, he should win easily with his catch wrestling, submissions, ground and pound. But he's got to get it there first. And Travis Brown, for a big heavyweight, is really quick on his feet, really swift. And I don't know how easy he is or isn't to take down. But Josh Barnett doesn't have the best takedowns in MMA. He's more of a clinch guy. He's not a straight up wrestler type to take you down. I think Travis can keep this fight standing if he can keep this fight standing, he can easily win on points. I think he can just outstrike Josh. If Josh gets him to the ground, though, it's going to be his domain. But I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Travis Brown by decision. Co-main event of the night, rematch between UFC Bantamweight Champion, Women's, Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. Now earlier I said this rematch is somewhat anticipated, somewhat not. It's not anticipated on a competitive level. It's anticipated, if it is, by those, because of the rivalry between these two. They just want to see them get their hands on each other. It was built up the season of The Ultimate Fighter. Ronda Rousey, it's weird the situations that these women are. Usually the person that loses has more animosity because they want to get revenge, they want to get payback. So you would think Miesha Tate would be that person. But in this rivalry, Ronda Rousey, despite beating Miesha Tate and winning the title, she's the one that has more anger towards her opponent. I can understand. I can see somewhat why. I know Ronda's lost some fans after seeing The Ultimate Fighter. Not me. I'm not really a fan of Miesha Tate. I agree with Ronda. I think she's kind of fake. I think she kind of tries to put on an act like she's a goody two-shoes and, Ronda doesn't bother her. I think she kind of comes across as funny in my opinion. And, if you've ever followed her on Twitter or anything, I believe personally that no one's a bigger fan of Miesha Tate than Miesha Tate. And to be honest, if not for Kat Zingano's injury, she wouldn't even be in this fight. She almost lost to Julie Kedzie 2 fights out, had to get a last-minute armbar, literally, to win that fight. And then, of course, regardless of what Miesha Tate thinks, Kat Zingano smashed her out. I favor Ronda to win this fight. Ronda does have some holes in her game. We saw in the Liz Carmouche fight, in the first Tate fight. Women can get her back. They can threaten her with a rear naked choke. But unless that happens, and I don't know if that's actually going to happen, I favor Ronda to just control this fight. She's been working on stand-up. I think she still keeps her head up too high when she fights, can get caught with strikes, but Miesha Tate's not going to knock her out, I don't believe. I think Ronda gets her to the ground and eventually submits her with the armbar. However, I don't think she'll necessarily do it in the first round. The fact that Miesha Tate's already experienced that before, she kind of has a better idea of what to look out for and what to expect, even if she did get caught in it. More aware of the setup, so think Misha will make it out of the first round, but I think eventually she'll get submitted, most likely in round 2, by armbar. Main event. UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman defending his belt against the man he defeated and took the title from, former pound-for-pound king and all-time great Anderson the Spider Silva. All right, we all know what happened in the first fight. We've all seen it, and the belief still is by most, the majority, that Anderson Silva only lost the fight because he was clowning around. Do I believe that as well? Yes, for the most part, but not necessarily. I mean, Chris Weidman was doing pretty good in the first round. Got the takedown, got some good ground and pound, went for a submission attempt. He wasn't ever on the verge of being stopped in this fight. It goes like this. Most people think that Anderson Silva can knock out Chris Weidman. But we know for sure that Chris Weidman can knock out Anderson Silva. We do know that. And Chris Weidman has more ways to win this fight. Anderson Silva is more likely to win at any moment with a devastating strike. But Weidman has more ways to win. He can win by knockout. I believe he can win by submission. He can win by ground and pound. He can win by decision. I don't think Anderson can win all those ways, even though I think Anderson can win in a more dominant fashion. Well, maybe not more dominant in the first fight, but I think he's more likely to win in a definitive fashion, or emphatic fashion. Ironic, considering the way the first fight ended. You never know how a guy's going to bounce back from a loss like that. Anderson's lost twice before. Never got a chance to avenge those losses. Weidman has the confidence of a champion. He was already confident on the first fight. He has the confidence of a champion. Confidence he knowing he can beat this guy. He can knock this guy out. That helps a fighter, having that kind of confidence. I don't know where Anderson's head's at. He says he's back. He says he's ready. He's focused. We shall see. But also, you got to factor in the fact that he got knocked out. Is he fully recovered from that? Physically as well? I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that Anderson Silva, just because he's going to come in focused and ready, that he's necessarily going to blow Chris Weidman out the water. But I do favor him to win the fight because I think he is more likely to win it at any moment, like I said earlier, with some kind of crazy Anderson Silva strike, punch, knee, kick, whatever it may be. But I do think that Chris Weidman, I'd say it's a 50-50 fight in all honesty, but I'm going to lean towards Anderson Silva. So give me Anderson Silva by stoppage in what should be a good fight. Another fight that potential knockout of the night. All right. What are your guys' thoughts on the fights? Who you're looking for, which fights you're looking forward to, who you got winning them, and why. Talked about this event a little bit more in depth on this past weekend Science of Violence radio show. Links to that as well as Facebook and Twitter and the information are the video as always. I should be back Saturday night afterwards to talk about the event post-fight. But until then, I'm out.